and to my left I have Jeremy Hicks-Kachik and Callie Hinkel, 2 out of 3 from the Hushdown. Thank you guys for joining me here today. I'm very excited. How are you guys feeling?
Awesome.
Happy to be here.
Well, thank you. Now, you guys, the name Hushdown, where did the name Hushdown come from?
It actually came because I talk a lot. That's really where it came from. Jeremy told me to hush down all the time and stop talking. And I said, you keep telling me to hush down. I'm going to call the band that. And it kind of actually sounded good, so it rolled well and we went with it.
I wasn't grooving it all first. I was like, I don't know. And then after a bit, I was like, why don't we call ourselves the Hushdown? I've been telling you this for weeks now.
Well, I like the name. I feel like it suits you guys. You know, because you have some bands, you know, out there it's loud, but the Hushdown seems very delicate. But yet, you guys will sneak up behind those and just like, pow! You know, show them what you got. Now, Jeremy and Callie, where are you two from?
I'm from Bel Air, Maryland. So, opposite coast, just straight that way, pretty much.
And how long have you been in California?
I guess 3 years, 3.5 years. I think so.
I'm from Marlow, Oklahoma. And I left when I was 19, so it was about 10 years ago. And I joined the Navy and then ended up out here about 2005.
So you guys liking California? I know some people have some mixed feelings
love
about.
California.
I love California. I feel like this is the freest state in the union. You have the ability to be whoever you want, to pursue whatever dreams you want, and nobody really judges you.
Awesome. So when did you guys meet and decide that you guys were both be performers in a band? And you know.
I had a solo project that I was working on with my producer at the time, Chris Heyman, and I needed a guitarist, and I met Jeremy through mutual friends, Nick Hitton of Badwater, Zach Downs of Badwater. They were friends with Jeremy before I was, and we met through various circles, and I asked him to come in and perform on one song, and it was magic, and I had got the butterflies, and I said, this is the project I need to be in. And he came out after laying like the first solo he had ever laid on any project we worked on together, one take wonder, and I was like, oh, I have to have this guy. I have to write with this guy. So he came out in the balcony where I was after recording a solo, and I said, do you want to make a project? He was like, oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It's like, I was worried you wouldn't ask me. Because it seemed like she had been out here and been doing this thing for a while. Like, she'd done like a couple CDs before doing the solo thing. So I was like, whoa, I'm new, so. I don't know. But I think initially we met through Delta at the Galaxy.
The Galaxy Gallery was
around.
Yeah, it was this really cool head shop type pipe shop, and they had live music there, and it was kind of a speakeasy, kind of ran under the radar. It's gone now. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, a lot of people told me you would have liked the Galaxy. And I'm like,
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, a lot of the local bands here, like I saw them for the first time, you know, at the Galaxy. That's where they got their, you know, so to speak, their stage performance down packed.
well, right on. So what sets your music apart from everyone else? I mean, what does the Hushdown differ from, you know, like bands like, as you know, like Journey or The Police or Nirvana, Beck, you know, just...
I think a good deal of it is in the musicality, because there's a lot of different influences that you can hear inside it. Because I'm obsessed with all kinds of music, especially world music. So I try to input it a lot into my music, and you don't really hear a lot of that world influence in a lot of music nowadays.
I think
Cool's great. What's about the CD that, you know, just makes it unique from your last?
Go ahead.
it was kind of written not as a full-blown concept album, but it was a sort of a concept album over our view of LA and the ugly side, our specific role in LA, and basically looking at LA through our own lens. And it's kind of, they all have themes. All the songs have LA-based themes.
Well, I can tell when I listened to it earlier. I was thinking, I was like, for every single, the different songs, you have different melodies and different, tones. and then I feel like it speaks. Like what I thought about it earlier today was I feel like I'm walking through the woods and there's music and I'm trying to find where it is. And then you get to, you're just like walking through the woods, you're just dancing along until you see like this big stage and like just grass around it and just the Hushdown. And just the music.
Yeah.
Like,
we kind of hearken to that.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
We need to make this happen. I'm pretty committed to this idea.
I think, like we're kind of that, the kind of band that I think you would expect to hear at a big festival where you hear a lot of people are coming together. We're all about music is love and hippie togetherness thing that kind of died out for a while and it's coming back now. But you see it with the Occupy Wall Street movement, and people are really coming together right now, and we're kind of all about that.
So, well, I know you guys played at the Vibe Room not too long ago for the first time. How did you guys feel about that?
It was fun. It was a Monday night at midnight, so we were surprised as many people turned out as we did, because most people on Monday nights are like, I go to work, I can't do anything. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Played with a great band, Fat City Reprise. Love those guys. We should be going on a tour with them coming up soon.
No one's yet heard of this, by the way.
No.
Yeah, this is exclusive.
No. Oh yeah, like seriously, I don't think anybody on this coast knows except for us in Fat City, and you know.
Well, now I know. I'm very excited, and hopefully, maybe down the road, I can become, the journalist.
Oh, yeah.
See, behind the scenes, and see how they handle the touring styles of bands, and if you guys collaborate and get great. So being in a band, like, do you guys butt heads from time to time, or is it more just kind of like civil?
Never about music.
No, I don't think we've ever argued about music. I mean, Adam, who is not here right now, he's another guitarist. He's just coming into the band, and he came into the band with the same attitude we have. It's like we're a unit, we're working together. It's all about making the music. It's not about the individual parts in our band. I mean, I'm the lead singer. It's just as much about the guys playing guitar as it is about me. It's a group effort.
Well, right on, guys. For you guys, Jeremy and Callie, who are your inspirations? Like, when you started music or when you want to become a musician, who did you pop in your head saying, okay, you know what, I want to be just like this person, or I want to...
That's a laundry list. I
Yeah,
think, yeah.
it's a big one.
I would say the Beatles, specifically John Lennon, and Paul McCartney, and Led Zeppelin. Vocally, I would say Robert Plant. I'd say Steven Tyler. I'd say Stevie Nicks. I love that lady. It's definitely Janis Joplin for me. I like the crazy women,
Hey, they're the ones with the talent.
They are, So I like my sisters who could, reach any female vocalist who could really reach down and give you that gut wrenching growl and then have some really sweet vocals. I like dynamics in vocals.
Yeah. For me, I wanted to be Guy Peterson from That Thing You Do. I wanted to be a drummer at first. And then I didn't do anything about that for a long time. And then it was like Angus Young and Aerosmith. And I mean, I'd listen to I'd love Cat Stevens and James Taylor and a lot of folky guys and the Beatles, of course. But the ones that really got me going were like Randy Rhoads was like one of those ones where I was like, oh my god, this is what guitar is. And then that launched me into classical. So then I got deep into classical and world music. So I don't know, it's a lot. It's a lot of people. It's like this really odd, jagged ascension into music awareness, I think.
Do you guys take that, like, when you guys are performing, all those musicians, do you take a sense of them with you?
Well, absolutely, especially when you're doing, you were there for our Viper Room show, so we covered The Ocean by Zeppelin. And I had told myself before I got on stage, okay, I have to be Robert Plant, because it's the only way you can cover a Zeppelin song is to just go for it.
Yeah, you can't do it without the bravado.
No, you have to have a little bit of swagger when you got up on stage. And since I'm not male, I had to give it some female swagger.
Oh, snaps. Female swagger. All right, I like that.
I think when it comes to music, I remember my first, first thing I remember about music, the first real, this is what I want to do moment was the first time I ever heard the Beatles. I was 3 years old, and there was Beatles playing on my grandma's radio, like an oldie station. And I remember walking into the kitchen and putting my head against the speaker because I'd never heard harmonies like that. And I remember like just being like in awe of that, like, because it was different. I'm from Oklahoma, so mostly what I heard was country, bluegrass, that kind of stuff. And to hear something that was completely different, these dynamic harmonies coming out of the speaker, it blew my little 3-year-old brain. And I think from that moment forward, I was obsessed with A, the Beatles, and then B, obsessed with becoming a musician myself.
Well, that's good that you guys are. I've known you guys since we went to Los Angeles about a year and a half ago, and your skills and your music has grown, and you guys have grown as musicians and as people. I'm not gonna lie, Jerry and Cal are the coolest people you'll probably ever meet.
I had a good friend of ours, his father took a bunch of our CDs and gave them out at his work. And a woman that worked for him gave our CD to her daughter. And she didn't know it, but her daughter was thinking about committing suicide. And the girl listened to a song of ours, Ego Trip, which isn't about suicide at all, but she took from that it was selfish to kill herself. And so she was having an ego trip, thinking about how she was so precious. And I think that is to date the best accomplishment that we've had, is touching someone with a song and saving their life. That's not to be arrogant, but that's heavy, And that was like, okay, this is why we do this. It touched someone, it changed them. So
that's really cool. And with what's going on right now with Occupy Wall Street, and we have local musicians, famous musicians. Where do you see like your music? Does it play a part in what's going on around the world now? Since you mentioned your music has a story to tell for what's going on with the Occupy Wall Street and people actually standing up and wanting to have a voice. Like with the Hushdown and your albums and want to be able to tour, are you guys more wanting to have your voice be heard for the positive and letting people know that we're here and we're going to speak exactly how we want to, and if you don't like it, then you just pretty much leave.
I think, especially we're working on our third album now, I guess, already. We're in the process, and I think the album that's coming, you'll hear a lot more to say about what's going on Wall Street. It's definitely been part of my writing process is just taking in all kinds of information. It drives Jeremy nuts because he sits and watches me. I'm on every news channel possible trying to see what's going on. I love Keith Overman, by the way. Keith Overman, he's the man.
I like news for the first 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then after that, I'm like, okay. Let's watch a cartoon.
But I think it's important. Music gives you a unique platform where you can touch or reach more people because people are listening. Whereas the average Joe on the street protesting, he has a sign and by all means his position is unique. But I think musicians and artists and actors, anyone who believes in the movement and believes that things need to change, and that's all that really the movement is saying is, look, we're declining as a nation, and something needs to give. We got to get the corruption out of our government, and I think that musicians have a unique opportunity to stand up and say what they believe, and have more of an opportunity to sway, if not the whole world, then at least the people who listen to their music, one way or the other. Especially say someone's standing on the sidelines, like, I want to get involved, but I'm scared. I don't want to, get arrested. I don't want to, have negative image coming down on me as a protester. I think a musician has the ability to put that out there that, hey, I'm saying this, you should too. And I think that if someone looks up to a musician, they have a unique opportunity to influence them for the good.
Yeah. I think the most important thing about that is that, musicians, or music in general, is like it causes paradigm shift. The end of the Baroque period is marked by the death of Bach. Most of these, the past couple of decades could be almost marked by the music and the message the music imparted onto the people. So, it's really unbelievably powerful how music is. It really can change the world around you, which is, I think, one of the most amazing things about it.